Welcome back to Crown and Covered. And today we're going to talk about something that I think can make managing the home much easier, and that is meal planning. So, one of the most common questions asked in the household is, what are we eating today? And I know you've heard that one before. I hear it all the time. Um, so when there's no plan, that simple question can become like a daily source of stress. You look in the refrigerator, there's nothing thawed out, or you're missing an ingredient, or, and then everyone's already hungry. So it becomes like a source of frustration for you. So meal planning can help eliminate much of that frustration. And it doesn't require an elaborate menu or expensive ingredients or hours in the kitchen. It just simply means that deciding ahead of time what your house is going to eat. So, pardon me if I sound a little stuffy. I am coming down with something, so just bear me. Um, so, before choosing meals, look at what your family has happening during the week. This is going to be the first step. Which days are going to be especially busy? Will your husband be at home later than usual? Do the children have any activities? Which day do you normally do like your grocery shopping? Um, when do you begin preparing for the Sabbath? These are questions you're going to ask yourself before you start to meal plan. And your meal plan should fit around the household's schedule. So on busy days, you want to plan something quick, such as sandwiches, baked potatoes, pasta, soup, tacos, leftovers, um, and you want to save the meals that require more preparation for days when you have more time. So, yeah, the goal is just to make sure that the family is fed without leaving you exhausted. So, after that, you're going to create a master meal list. So many homemakers believe that they need to come up with new meals every week, and you do not. You want to sit down and write a list of meals that your family already enjoys. Divide that list into categories such as chicken meals, beef meals, fish meals, pasta dishes, soups and stews, um, vegan meals, quick meals, Sabbath meals. And whenever you plan your week, choose meals from this list. You can add new recipes occasionally, but you don't need to constantly search for something different. Most families are perfectly content eating their favorite meals regularly. I know that mine is. Um, and so a dependable list makes planning much faster because you're choosing from meals that you already know how to prepare. All right, so then next you're going to check on what you already have. So before making your meal plan, check the refrigerator, freezer, pantry. What's to be used soon? Is there meat in the freezer? Do you have rice, pasta, potatoes, canned vegetables, beans? Are there ingredients left from last week? So you want to plan meals around those items before you go buying more food. If you already have chicken, rice, vegetables, one of your meals is practically already planned. This also helps prevent waste, keep food from expiring, and also lowers your grocery bill. So you want to try to choose meals that use some of the same ingredients. Like for example, if you buy lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, and tortilla for tacos, you may be able to use those same ingredients for wraps or taco salads later in the week. Next suggestion is to keep the meals simple. You don't necessarily need seven completely different meals in the week. You can plan five main meals, one leftover night, and one simple backup meal. This kind of gives you structure without leaving room for changes. You can also use theme nights like soup night, pasta night, leftover night. This is something that I have done in the past. I don't do it anymore, um, but it does work. So theme nights, they kind of reduce the number of decisions that you have to make, you know, um, and you have a pattern without serving the exact same meal every time. All right, and then the next suggestion is to plan more than dinner. So dinner may require the most preparation, but breakfast and lunch can also become stressful that if you don't have a plan. Breakfast can be kept simple with a few choices in rotation: oatmeal, eggs, fruit, toast, yogurt, muffins. Um, and lunch might include like leftovers, sandwiches, salads, wraps, soup. You don't need to assign a different breakfast and lunch to every day. Decide on a few options and make sure the ingredients are available. Also consider snacks, especially if you have children. So keeping fruit, cheese, crackers, popcorn, homemade snacks available, it can prevent constant last minute searching. All right. So the next suggestion is to prepare before you need the food. Meal planning works best when it is followed by a small amount of preparation. After grocery shopping, you might wash and cut the vegetables, season meat, divide large packages into smaller portions, prepare sandwich ingredients, or cook a pot of rice. You don't have to spend an entire day cooking. Even 30 minutes of preparation can make a major difference later in the week. You can also double certain meals. If you're making chili, soup, spaghetti sauce, things like that, casseroles, prepare twice as much. Serve one portion and freeze the other. That frozen meal will be especially helpful on a day when you're tired, busy, sick, or just simply behind schedule. All right, and then the next suggestion is to keep emergency meals available. So even the best plans will sometimes be interrupted. An appointment may run late, you may forget to thaw out meat, or simply have less energy than expected. So keep a few emergency meals available that require little preparation. Those meals can include like canned soup and sandwiches, frozen homemade meals, um, baked potatoes, simple rice and bean meal. An emergency meal gives you another option besides spending money on takeout. All right. So, also will suggest to leave room for flexibility. So, a meal plan should serve you. It should not control you. If you plan chicken for Monday but do not feel like cooking it, switch it to Wednesday's meal. If there are more leftovers than expected, move another meal to the following week. Nothing is wrong because the plan changed. The plan has still done its job by giving you prepared options. So, a simple weekly planning routine. Choose one consistent day each week to plan your meals. First, look at the family schedule, like we already discussed. Second, check the refrigerator, freezer, and pantry. Third, choose 5 or 6 dinners from your master meal list. Fourth, as we went over, decide on a few breakfast, lunch, and snack options. Fifth was to write your grocery list based only on missing. And then finally, place the menu somewhere visible so you do not have to remember it. Sisters, meal planning does not have to be complicated. You do not need fancy planners, expensive containers, or a month of meals prepared in advance. Start with 1 week, choose familiar meals, use what you already have, prepare a few ingredients ahead of time, and keep backup meals available. A little planning can save money, reduce food waste, shorten trips, and remove the daily pressure of figuring out what to cook. Most importantly, create a system that works for your home. Your meal plan does not need to look like anyone else's. It only needs to help you feed your household consistently and manage your responsibilities with greater ease. All right. I do thank you for joining me today on Crowned and Covered for this little short video on meal planning. If this episode helped you, share it with another sister who wants to make meal planning easier. And in the comments, tell me, what meal can your family eat repeatedly without getting tired of it? All right, sisters, until next time, Shalom.